What is up, Retro Maniacs? Welcome to the Retro Card Chat podcast. My name is Mike. I am from Mike's Retro Trading Cards, and I'm joined by two men that probably wish I paid them a little bit more to be on this podcast. But let's be real, they love walking down the street and getting noticed by everybody. Their names are Joe Day and Eric Pahalik, otherwise known as EP. How you doing, guys?
Sure, are you getting paid?
Yeah, I was gonna say, who's getting paid what? Oh my goodness! And walking down the street, yeah, they recognized us on the boardwalk over at Atlantic City, all wearing our Mike's Retro Trading Card T-shirts.
Like I never felt so stupid in my life. Isn't it funny how you can be walking around in a building with a whole bunch of other nerdy people, and it's not a big deal that you have matching T-shirts.
And then you go to the real
right?
world,
and then you go out in the real world, and you're out in public, and you're all of a sudden like, "Oh no!"
And you're kind of looking around like, "Wait a minute, I'm the only one here wearing a Mike's Retro Trading Card T-shirt other than these two guys."
Do you think that's why we didn't experience any random violence at Atlantic City, because we were looking like idiots all wearing the same T-shirt? Like they knew we were a team, so maybe they couldn't take all three of us or something.
They're like, "Oh man, they're a tag team. We're not
like the Van Buren boys gang over in Seinfeld or something."
Oh, so what is new and exciting?
Let me open up my 10 a.m. beer, Mike. Hold on a second.
Oh, I got one too, Joe. I'm right here with you, okay?
Cheers. I got my rusty rail glass too. We're doing endorsements, right?
Mike's doing the responsible stuff.
Not even real. It's like fake.
It's fake coffee.
Yeah, it's decaf. I already finished my real one, and I put the decaf in the cup that the real one is.
How old are you? You're already at decaf at 10:45?
Well, yeah. Well, I had a venti regular Starbucks, so I can't have anymore. Yeah. So, I watched The Hangover last night. Pretty good movie. You guys ever see that?
Oh my gosh!
I've seen it. I think we saw it in the theater. Did we go to the theater together and see that?
I think we did. Yeah.
I don't know how I've seen it so many times. I still laugh at so much of it. There's just so much of it that is so classic and so good every time you watch it.
I kind of thought the intro was going to be two men who have never gotten stuck on a roof in Las Vegas or something like that. Since we were talking about The Hangover.
I did the movie theme last week. I didn't want to do it. Plus, we're going to talk a little bit about a movie later on, so I didn't want to put the cart in front of the horse, as I like to say. So not a whole lot else going on. Why don't we get right into this? Just saw this week. I'm not sure if you guys are aware, there's a fractional share platform called Collectible, and they have a 1952 Topps Mickey Mantle PSA 8 that people own shares of, and they've received a $1.8 million offer for that card. Now, the shareholders of the card get to vote, and they get to decide whether or not they want to sell it for the $1.8 million. We talked about the SGC 9.5 sale and how it's kind of raising, that'll raise the price of all the other mantles. This particular card only sold for $485,000 in early 2021. So like about a year and a half later, they're receiving a $1.8 million offer. What I find interesting about this one is Heritage Auctions is also going to be auctioning off a PSA 8 52 Topps Mantle. So my question for you guys, if you owned part of this, are you going to take the guaranteed sale on 1.8, or are you going to wait and see what happens to the auction?
I think it depends on how many shares I have in it. Honestly, I mean, if I have one, I'm like, go for the moon. Let's see what see what it goes for. If I have a large chunk of it, or more than just one share of it, yeah, I mean, you're risking. It's the whole auction versus buy it now kind of philosophy that you have, Mike. I think I sell it before the auction, and if the auction one if this makes sense, I think if you sell this one for the 1.8, I could see the auction one going higher, because that last sale, everything kind of goes a little bit higher, especially if they're that close together. I think if the reverse happens, the auction goes and it doesn't go for 1.8, that could actually depress the value. You're probably not going to get the same offer of 1.8 then. So I think the risk versus reward for me, I would sell it for the 1.8, and I'd vote to sell it for the 1.8. And I mean, that profit, what, 4 times what you paid for it?
4, yeah.
Yeah, I don't take the chance.
Yeah, I sell it, no question. Then I try to get in a portion of the next mantle that pops up on there. I mean, yeah. So I would sell in a second. No, take the 1.8. That's a huge amount to profit.
I wonder how much the shares were. Was there anything on there, Mike, about how much the shares were?
Yeah, how many shares? Yeah, how many shares there were?
I'm not terribly familiar with that whole type of thing, which is something I wanted to talk to you guys about too. What do you guys like? What are your thoughts on this fractional share ownership of cards and stuff like that? I know it's a big thing. Like, I know you can buy art that way and a lot of different kind of investments. What are your thoughts on
it? It's reminds me of kind of like a timeshare, right? Where you own it, but you don't really like you only get it like the 3rd Saturday in November. Like okay, cool.
It'd be funny if they pass the card around. You get it 4 days out of the year.
Right. It's like a timeshare. You get to visit the card like once a month, or 1 month out of the year or something like that. Like, I don't know. We've talked about this a lot, like why we don't use vaults. Like, we like to have our cards. We like to, display our cards or look through our cards. To me, it's the stock. It's playing the stock market, right? You're buying a stock and you're hoping it goes up. It's not collecting. It's not collecting. It's investing. Which is fine if that's what you want to do. If you would prefer to invest in a card like this as a stock, cool, fine. Do what you do. You do you. But for me, I wouldn't. It wouldn't interest me at all. Even like a Brady, like if a playoff contenders championship ticket Brady came up, I probably wouldn't buy a portion of that. I would probably take the money that portion would cost and just buy like an SP Authentic and be cool with it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's definitely investing more than collecting. But like I was going to say, and I figured we'd probably talk more about this. That's why I was going to say, like at in the previous segment, that if I sold it for that amount of money, I would just buy into the next mantle that was available on there, like as an investment. Sorry, because I feel like that is the vintage stuff kind of pretty much always goes up, and that the mantle is going to be worth more and more. Like that card is just iconic. So I would just buy into the next mantle that came up available with that amount of money and just kind of keep moving up. I've already had the money invested in it like that. But again, I would love to own one as a collector and a Yankees fan, baseball card fan, but it's out of my price range. So to have a piece of it, knowing it was going to go up, I kind of like that. I don't know if I would never put a ton of money into it. If I had a ton of money, I would think about putting some into it, but it's not. It is investing and not collecting, and I agree on that point, Joe.
And it's kind of too. Do you remember? We used to have a guy that came in the shop that was a big Packers fan, and he had a share of the Green Bay Packers.
You read my mind.
Yeah, it's kind of like that kind of thing. Like, you can say you're a part owner of the Green Bay Packers in his case, and in this case, you can say you're a part owner in a 52 Topps Mantle. I mean, I've never, jumped into this area, never really looked at it, but I actually think it's kind of cool, honestly. Like, I would be interested in something like that.
It's also a good investment, I think, because it's going to keep going up, right? Like,
yeah, definitely. You would think the mantle. That's why I was kind of surprised that both of you said you would sell the card, like, because I mean, it's a 52 Topps Mantle PSA 8. Like, if we're thinking that it's not going to go down, why sell it now?
It was just that's a huge profit right then and there. And so I'll take that. I'll cash in that money and then look for the next mantle. But
take the money and run, right?
Yeah. I feel like maybe the auction's not going to go for 1.8. I think the amount, the 4X is significant, like more significant than probably what the auction will go for, in my opinion.
That 9.5 selling for over 12 million, though. I mean,
so you're not saying even you should vote to crack it and resubmit it.
Well,
is that a possibility?
I don't know.
I would vote. I would say do not crack any 52 mantle. Are you serious?
Send it to Joe to crack for you.
I'll crack. I'll do it for the channel.
Can you imagine the views for that? Oh my god!
Yeah, wow.
Joe Day cracks 52
in the comments.
Oh my god.
But
I still couldn't
like,
be able to watch. I still couldn't handle it.
I don't know, like where I don't know what the pop count is for a PSA 8, so it's really kind of hard to say, not knowing that off the top of my head. But I think I would actually hold it. I don't know. I think that card is getting more and more like popular. As crazy as that is, it's like the iconic
Right.
trading card of any of them. So that you have to think will always have value, right? So
Like,
why get rid of it now?
Right.
I get what you're saying. I a lot of it too depends on like just your personal situation. Like if you needed the money at that point, maybe you got it as when you were doing really well in the card market. Now everything's kind of depressed, except for maybe the 52 mantle. Like everything's kind of coming down, and we talked about this offline quite a bit. Maybe it's something where you kind of need the money. You don't know when the opportunity is going to come where it sells for, or you're offered 2.5 or 2.8 or 3. What? So I think it's an individual, you have to make that individual decision. But at the end of the day, it's kind of like when you vote for president, your vote it's one vote. So what are the odds that it actually swings the election? So vote how you feel you want to vote. I'm guessing, you could probably, I wonder too, if you can sell your individual portion of it. You know what I mean?
Well, you can trade those back and forth.
Okay.
That's
so,
part of what
I
the whole
mean,
system
if you
is,
wanted
right?
to sell it and they were like, no, we're voting to hold on to it, maybe at that point you can sell or trade your individual share. And then that way you can get whatever profit you can get for it. I mean, that's probably a possibility.
Yeah, I mean, the way I look at it is, I'm gonna take that profit right then and there, and then try to get back into it. Like the issue with if you like think of it as retirement, if you need the actual cash, and so who knows the next time that the whole group's going to maybe vote to sell it or whatever. So I would take that profit right then and there, and then look to invest at least some of it into another mantle at some point, even if it's a lower grade. I feel like just that I think the like you guys said, 4x or more than 4x is just too much to not.
Yeah,
take.
I mean, you can't go wrong with making money, right?
Right.
Right, exactly.
Well, speaking of making money, we talked last week a little bit, our little Law and Order section of the podcast, about the man in Michigan that was sentenced to, 30 months in prison for scamming. Well, there was a 34-year-old New York man that has been accused of scamming $33,000 sports cards. This is kind of what all of us see all the time on social media. He was buying items from people on social media and charging back with a credit card dispute. And he was also selling and taking PayPal and Venmo and then sending empty packages. So this person was arrested in 2017 for credit card fraud and identity theft. So these are the kind of people that are jumping into our hobby now to try to scam people. And this is the kind of scam, like I got hit by a guy who didn't send my cards for $100. And you see people all the time complaining about this happening. And like, this is a real big deal. Like, people need to realize the FBI is the one looking into this. These are federal charges. The guy faces up to 20 years in prison and a $750,000 fine. Like, you're not, like, if you think you're just, scamming some people and making extra money, it's a lot bigger than that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. To button up the previous segment, 35 PSA 8s on the Mickey Mantle. There's some with qualifiers and some 8.5s, but 35 just straight up PSA 8s. As to this, it's the wire fraud that is really going to get this guy. I mean, that's why the feds are brought in. I mean, when you're accepting money across state lines and all those different things, there's a lot of other things that can jump into charges. Taking it from the other side, buyers, you gotta be careful. I mean, scamming in the hobby is not new. It's more prevalent now, especially with prices so much higher than they were when we first got into it. I couldn't imagine being scammed for $50 back then, let alone tens of thousands of dollars. But card prices are just through the roof. Even though there's a depression, they're still way higher than they ever were back in the day. And you got to protect yourself. You got to, if you're going to buy on social media, you have to, make sure you're using goods and services. If you're going to buy on eBay, you've got the protections there. But not to victim blame or anything like that, but you gotta be smart with your money. Don't trust anybody. We made the joke that EP even gave me money, goods and services instead of friends and family one time. But you have to protect yourself for sure out there.
Yeah, this guy, he racked up a bunch of different things that we hate about the hobby, right? Like buying stuff and then submitting it as claiming it as not correct, and then also selling stuff and keeping the cards, sending empty packages, stuff like just a real bad egg. I think the other Michigan guy also faced 20 years. Like his initial charge also was 20 years. I don't remember what the fine was for him, but yeah, worst kinds of people. All of Joe's points are valid. Like definitely take care of yourself. Like don't run into trouble. I mean, I could see Mike. You just were working a sack sale this past week, like yesterday even. And like you said, you sold like 350 some cards, right? Like that's a huge amount. Like if you decided to not send everything, like that would be a decent chunk of money in your pocket, and you could just turn off your Twitter and just go away. I mean, you have people that have been buying for a couple of sales now, so you couldn't do that. But
thanks for telling people I'm gonna take their money and run.
Well, the stack sale will be over by the time this posts, so you'll be good. You'll be good.
Oh wow.
So yeah, but I mean, you could see it easily happen on social media where somebody does that and they post a bunch of cards and people pay them, and then all of a sudden they're not on Twitter anymore, and you have no contact information for them whatsoever. Like like Joe said, be careful. Like
we talked a couple months ago, and I don't know if we ever got a resolution to this story, but remember the guy who sent the card with no insurance? He sent it for like $4 shipping, and it was like, wasn't it like a $50,000 card or something ridiculous like that? Like
30,000.
Who knows if he's someone who, we talked about it back then, we don't think there was any malice of forethought or anything, and it was just him being stupid, but you don't know. I mean, that's the problem. There are just so many people out there who are willing to scam someone for $1.
Maybe that was the guy.
Maybe it was. Maybe it was a guy who has a friend who prints stuff in another country. For him. Who knows? Maybe it's backyard breaks. I don't know.
The scary part about this, though, is I read that one of the people paid with PayPal, and because he sent a package, there was tracking, and he transferred the money right away to his credit card, so PayPal couldn't take the money back from him. So I don't know if PayPal found in the buyer's favor, or if they were able to recoup that money for them at all. So yeah, I mean, even trying to do it the right way, people are finding ways to scam people.
Yeah, that's a good point because the guy could easily say, no, I sent that. I mean, unless
that's why he's sending an empty package.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And even if someone opens it up on camera, which I know a lot of content creators do and things like that, even if someone opens it up on camera, you can't guarantee that they're not scamming.
Yeah.
And just doing some camera tricks. Like there's no, when people say open stuff up on camera all the time, video can be manipulated. I mean, so I don't know.
How do you know that's the actual package?
Right. Exactly. So that's tough when you're sending empty packages and it's tracked and it's shown as delivered, and it's a he said situation in those cases.
Okay, well, moving on. Do you guys remember HGA?
Yeah.
I still have a couple of their slabs, to be honest.
Yes, so do I.
We dug up old Beckett grading last week, and this week we're going to dig up HGA. Apparently, they have a new business model. They are now offering memberships to grade with their company. They have a gold membership that is free for the first year, and then $75,000. It might as well be.
They're making their money back pretty quick.
$75,000. No, $75 a year. After that, and a platinum level that is $75 for the first year and $150 after that.
150,000. What?
And now it's only $150, so I would go with the platinum if I were you. Would be my recommendation. Yeah, they're offering discounted grading and labels only on the platinum for the label, and they're now offering a PC slab with no grade for $15 that you can get back in 20 days. So, in case you don't want to send it to SGC, actually get it graded for about the same amount of money in faster time, you can now send it to them to do nothing but put it in a slab. I mean,
are they authenticating it, or is it just putting in a slab?
No, they
don't authenticate it anyway.
No, they don't authenticate.
Yeah, I don't think that's part of their model.
I mean, I appreciate that they want to try to salvage this company, but that ain't it. That ain't it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a shame too, because we can put our heads down and quietly admit that we liked them when they first came out.
Mm-hmm,
we were hoping they did well. It was a big deal to try and get the lottery. I remember us trying 3 or 4 times and not getting in, and we were all, damn it, I'll put in for you if I get in. Like, we were really excited about it, and it's a shame. I've talked about picking up some Kenny Pickett cards recently, and like, I'd love to send them someplace like HGA to get them slabbed with the pick colors on the label, because I still really like their label. And I love their slabs. I mean, CSG, CGC, those slabs. I mean, it's very similar in terms of clarity and the look. I'd really like to send with them, but it's just like, it's just not worth it, especially for the cost and what you get. You're right, Mike. This isn't it.
Yeah, unfortunately, with their slabs, it feels like you're putting money in, but you're not getting any value add back. Like, that's the bottom line. Like, you're paying money for them to slab it, but it's not going to increase the value of it.
You might even devalue it.
Yeah, probably. So why not send it to a different grading company? I also think the price point is probably a little bit too high for if they're trying to get back into good graces.
Yeah, way too high.
Like, and I realize that they're not going to make any money if they do it with like a $25 or $50, but I mean, like, you're trying to get back in the good graces of the customers, like, and maybe people who are already people, either you said they're in there for a year, like I feel like they should do more to try to get back in the good graces of the people, and that will increase the value of their slabs and improve their standing in the hobby. And I think 75 is just probably a little bit too high, even if it's not 75 a year. Like, it feels like, it doesn't feel like they're trying hard enough for maybe reaching,
because how many enough. I mean, like, if I send in 5 cards, 10 cards, 20 cards, I mean, you're adding like $5 to $10 per card, unless you're sending in a lot. And I don't see many people subbing bulk with HGA at this point, right? So, like, the value of the membership just isn't worth it. I could see, like, if there was no membership and you could send in cards just to get PC slab, that's not actually a bad idea for the cost of what one touches. I don't know how much they are now, but during the peak, one touches were like crazy expensive. That would be a fun display thing. If you have cards that you just want to display, PC cards, like HGA, you're not going to buy them and put them in a vault somewhere. You're going to buy them to display them because of the label. I mean, that would be a fun thing if it was like, say, $10 or something like that. But you have to buy a membership, and then
I don't think you have to buy a membership.
I think
the membership point is just giving you a discount. Yeah, I think if I read that correctly. Yeah.
So, and that's probably true. I just meant in terms of, like, so the price probably goes up to even the PC slab. If you don't have a membership, it's probably more expensive. Like, if it was the membership price without paying for the membership. Yeah, I'd have to see what a one touch goes for. They're probably like, $3, $4. I mean, it really depends on how you want to display. I don't know. I'm kind of torn on it, because I do really like their labels. I do really like their slabs. It's just they're a joke company in terms of the grading side of it. Maybe that's the model they do, is just slab cards. I mean, not at the price that they're asking for, but I mean, maybe do something like that.
Yeah, when you first texted me about this, I was actually really interested in it because I thought maybe they were going to try some kind of subscription service where you paid a monthly fee
Mhm.
and you could grade up to so many cards, something different, something outside
Yeah.
the box.
Mhm.
But this is just like, I feel you offered it for free to begin with. So your company's struggling. It has fallen like from not being a big company, but having a chance to having like no
Having
following.
buzz.
In
They
the
had
conversation,
buzz.
they were in the
Yeah.
conversation
Yeah.
of being a top
And
grader. Yeah.
now you're going to charge people a membership just to save a little money on the grading. I like, how is that going to get people to send more cards to you? Like at the end of the
Right.
day, that's what you need. You're in a very busy market with a lot of competitors. You need to be different. You need to get cards to grade. And I don't see how this is going to help that.
And there are other grading companies popping up beyond the big four that I know I've seen content creators, who I'm sure getting something out of it. But, like, and I won't name any of the other, but there are smaller grading companies that are
Mhm.
popping up still to this day. Um, so if you want to get your foothold back in there, this isn't the way to do it. And,
No.
maybe doing, kind of the PSA model where without the subscription, but X amount of cards are this price, X amount of cards are this price, and go, and try and get some cheaper bulk prices out there without a membership and just try and work that out. And if you want to get more cards, maybe that's the way to do it. But buying a membership, to me, I would have right now 5 cards I would want to send to them. So I'm buying a $75 membership. Do the math.
75,000.
$75,000 membership. But do the math on even 75. I'm adding that,
Yeah.
like it just doesn't
No
make
sense.
sense.
Yeah, I mean, could you guys imagine to go on your point for second show? Could you imagine if they came in with like a $1 or $5 bulk rate? Like they would get cards to submit, and there'd be a lot of their slabs out there. And I realize that they're going to lose a lot of money on that. But if they did something like that, like I could see a lot of people just sending. I mean, oh my God, it's only $1, it's only $5, even only
They'd
$10.
be out of
Like,
business so in a week and they'd have all
you
your
think?
cards and
You
never get
think?
them back. Yeah.
Okay.
They don't have enough
$10
capital.
maybe
Like
$10.
Limited to 10, like maybe
yeah,
limited to 10.
maybe 10. I mean, they're probably so far in debt right now to begin with that I don't know how they would be digging out because I don't know. I could be wrong, but I don't see anybody using them. So
I was actually, as an aside, I was looking for. I don't know why I randomly wanted to, but he's on my fantasy team, so maybe. But Cooper Cup, I was looking for a rookie auto of his, and there was one. It was Pen Pals, which I actually, by the way, as a side note, one of the few Panini things I like. It's on card autos. It's an insert set, so it's not as expensive. And I was looking for one of his, and I found one in an HGA slab, and it was an HGA 9, and it's like $140. And I want to say like the PSA 9 was like 200. And I messaged the guy. I said, "Is there any wiggle room?" "Oh no, I mean it's a mint card." Yeah, it's a mint card, but it's in an HGA slab. We have to be a little bit more, we have to have a little. How long has that HGA slab been sitting on your eBay store? Is my question.
yeah, really.
Because I have a couple that are sitting in mine.
I think I took mine off mine actually too.
Yeah,
I had
I
a couple left.
I might.
Yeah, unfortunately, they had a chance, and I think their opportunity is
glimmer of
long
hope,
gone.
and then
yeah. All right. Well, before we wrap it up this week, there's news coming out that Adam Sandler is apparently going to be in a movie that is set in the world of high-priced card collecting. I like cards. I know you guys like cards. I like Adam Sandler. I'm not totally sure that really sounds all that interesting to me, but I want to know what you guys thought. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong.
I mean, if it's a comedy, I could totally see. I think you can make a comedy work in almost any genre, probably. So or in any situation, I think it could really work. I was just trying to think who in the card industry that we know of that looks like Adam Sandler, or who's he portraying? Is he portraying a fictional character, or is it like something where he's going to portray somebody who is actually in the real world? So that's
he's Jeff Wilson. He's sports card investor.
That's what I was thinking.
That would
Is he
be
just going to be? Is he going to be?
I'm in. If that's the case.
Yeah, like who's going to get in there? Like from this industry, like he'll probably get some people. Maybe pull in a couple people. I could see getting some athletes in here for the movie to try to get autographs, that sort of stuff. Chasing autographs. I think there's a potential there for something really fun.
I haven't seen it. I've heard Uncut Gems is fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it's a really good movie.
Yep, I've heard that.
And
I've heard that too, but I've heard some people say this is really not good.
Yeah, so
I've heard it's a movie you want to see once, but it's like violent, and it's like you want to see it once, and that's pretty much it. You're not going to rewatch it because it's
right,
pretty rough. In that,
like, is this going to be a 2-hour movie, which 90 minutes of it is just him sorting 2022 Panini Prism cards, or what? Like, but I will say, depending on when it comes out, I smell a movie Monday. For those of you who don't know, Mike, EP, and I, and some of our other friends used to go. We'd hop into Mike's mom's Navigator, I think, if there were enough of us.
I think it was, yeah.
And we would head to the local movie theater, and then on the way back, we'd stop and get Dairy Queen blizzards. Yes, we were children. But yeah,
there's a reason we look like we do.
Yeah. By the way, it's not like we weren't kids and his mom was driving the Navigator. No, Mike borrowed his mom's Navigator. We were adults.
That would have been great.
We were totally
my
adults.
Mom would have driven us. That would have been great.
Totally would have.
Oh yeah.
But we would
she
go
probably
every
Garfield.
Monday. We would go every Monday
children.
for the weekend movie that was hot. And maybe we'll have to revive the movie Monday. We'll have to rent a Navigator to kind of feel like the old times.
We did see Garfield.
I did see Garfield.
Yeah,
wow.
We don't have to talk about that.
Way to put us on blast, EP. People don't need to know that.
I'll just.
I think we all agreed though that we all thought about walking out. We didn't, but we all thought about walking out, didn't we?
We should have, yeah.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Have.
Breckenmeyer was killing it, man. He was rolling the world back in those days.
Okay, so one final question. What I really want to get to is, who do you think Adam Sandler is going to pick to play us in the movie?
That's a great question.
Because obviously, if he's doing a movie about card collecting, we'll be in it.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah,
we better be.
Like for sure.
Didn't you already get a call from him, Mike? Didn't you already get a call from his agency?
I can't say. Can't confirm.
Can't confirm nor deny.
Yeah, legally, I can't say anything about that.
Oh, mine's easy. Danny DeVito, 1,000%. Danny DeVito, 1,000%.
Well, are they going to do something with the height, like make him shorter? How do they?
Oh my God.
They use those weird camera angles for like Lord of the Rings, where they like the perspective to show the dwarves and the hobbits.
By the way, Mike, you better put pictures of who we say in the middle and find like Danny DeVito playing the penguin.
No. Danny DeVito It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Danny DeVito in Sunny.
Even better,
sure. Yeah.
So I had a couple people. So when I was younger, people used to say, "You look like Drew Carey." I don't look like Drew Carey anymore since he's lost weight. But I was actually thinking someone Always Sunny as well. My cousin, Charlie Day, I think with the beard, or from Always Sunny, Rob McElhaney when he gained all that weight. But the guy I landed on was you guys definitely didn't watch it. Mike definitely didn't watch it. This Is Us, the guy who played Toby. His name's Chris Sullivan. He actually played Laserface. So much for
putting pictures up when I don't know.
No. You could put Taserface. He played Taserface.
He plays Taserface in Guardians.
In Guardians of the Galaxy. So you could put up Taserface. But yeah, he bigger guy with a beard, and bald. So check.
Okay. Well, sounds
Meatloaf
fantastic
for you. Meatloaf.
I mean,
God rest
the obvious call would be Brad Pitt. But I hate to bring up the obvious choice. So as much as I would say Brad Pitt would be fantastic in this role, I'm gonna go with Fat Russell Crowe.
Fat Russell Crowe, dude, that's a good one.
Yes, like Zeus.
That is like
Zeus, yeah. So put Fat Russell Crowe in.
I mean, he'd still have to wear a fat suit on top of it.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
But,
You're gonna
Fat
have to
Russell
grow
Crowe, that's a good one.
exponentially to play me, but
He
you know
was in
he's
this-
a method actor. He'll do it.
Yeah.
He'll put the weight on legit. I
Oh yeah,
believe.
yeah, for sure.
He was in this really bad movie recently, Thor: Love and Thunder.
I thought you were talking
And
about Doctor Strange.
he
Multiverse of Madness.
That's a
You said really
different
bad.
Don't
podcast.
step on my joke. And yeah, I could see you as Zeus, Mike. So you know,
Yeah.
that checks out. Everything checks out.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure everybody will be running to get their tickets now, so they, get there on opening night.
In the
Maybe
comments,
we'll be
tell
walking
us-
the red carpet.
Tell us who we should be. Tell us who would play us in the movie in the comments. And if this gets 100 likes, EP will eat a card. Is that
Wait.
still a thing? Are we still doing that?
I opened a pack of 1988 Topps.
Oh! Jesus. Is it any better this week?
It is so much better. It still doesn't taste great. It's way
that 1
crunchier,
year though.
but it is.
It's the 1 year difference.
There must have been water or something in that other one. It was bad. This is turning in not great. What's going on?
Of cardboard and wax.
Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
This one's a lot more difficult to eat. I'm not
Switch
sure what's
that
going
around.
on, but
Get some beer in there and switch that around, buddy.
it's probably fine.
I fully expect you'll have gum from 1989 Topps next week, right? We're gonna keep going up
Maybe.
Ongoing
until we
segment.
get till
Ongoing segment.
1992. I think they removed the gum, but
I asked-
still.
I asked the
Why don't we go
nutritionist yesterday.
backwards? Why don't we go backwards?
Go
Oh
back.
Jesus! I asked the nutritionist yesterday what could possibly be the effects of eating 35-year-old gum, and she had no idea. But I figured, you know
There's
what?
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, this is even a year old, a year newer. It's probably fine.
I'm sure.
34-year-old gum. It's
Nothing
fine.
wrong.
Yeah.
Look, you didn't make anywhere near the face you made last week. So
It was
has
just
to be a
it
lot
tasted
better.
way better. Oh my god, there must have been something like water or something in that last pack. There must have been something going on in that because it was really, really bad.
Wow, fantastic.
Yep.
All right, we're going to leave it there for this week. And that was a fun chat. We'll be back next week. Take care, guys.
Well, hopefully. Adios.
Hopefully. See ya.